Hey yo, it's your boy Caleko. Now I've been spending a lot of time recently carving a bunch of my fire agate, trying to get some money coming in to pay the bills and hopefully get this thing on the road. It only needs a little bit of work to actually get on the road, but some of that work is having a mechanic look at it and see why I might be having a power loss issue. I'm hoping it might just be a turbo issue or something that's no big deal. It has been running for me for a number of years in the exact same way, and I haven't been able to figure out what the problem is, but I don't think I've taken it to the right people, because when Cummins checked out the engine, they said there was a fuel restriction, and so I need to figure it out. Anyways, the thing runs, it runs just fine. It starts, it moves, but it needs a couple of little things here and there, and I'm not even supposed to be talking about this. That's not even what this video is about, right? This video is actually about two fire agate pieces I have. Now, when I pulled these pieces of fire agate out of the ground, the flat one, I'll start talking about that, because this thing was like my pride and joy when it came out of the ground. It's about a little bit smaller than the size of my palm. You couldn't have bought this thing from me for $1,000 when I first pulled it out of the ground, because it has a very thin layer of opal on some of it that looks to be precious. It has flashes of color back at you, but the opal is so thin that it's not enough to really care about, and the flash is not so bright that it's really not enough to care about. But the agate itself is one of those rare pieces when you're digging in a lot of hard material that comes out of a mud pocket and ends up being that it sort of sits by itself and it's not connected to a whole bunch of other thick pieces of agate and stuff like that. I had this thing for about a year before I even realized that there's a crack running directly down the center of it. Now, this is a little bit upsetting, but it's not that big of a deal. It's still such a monstrous piece that if the crack doesn't break it, there's no reason to cut it into two stones. If it carves one big, giant, colorful stone, then the best thing to do is just leave it like that as a giant specimen piece. If it breaks, then sure, go ahead and make it into two stones or whatever. But being that it's so large, it just really depends on how the color starts to show. And although I've been super enamored with this piece since I pulled it out of the ground, and probably any fire agate miner would that's especially mining by hand, it's really not showing that much color. It's really not showing the kind of promise that I have seen out of other similar stones that have come out of the ground this similar way. The video that I just put up, the carving a gem in 5 minutes, that video, that stone is the same type of stone. It came out of a very little mud pocket. It was sort of by itself sitting on a little ledge. It had amazing color, and even better than what I originally thought when I first pulled it out or when I first started carving it. This stone could very much be like that. It could have great color. Is it worth $500? It's a total gamble. This stone totally is a gamble, but there's no way you could have ever gotten it from me for anything less than that. That stone, especially when I was at the mine, I wouldn't have sold it to you for $1,000, to tell you the truth. The only time I would have sold it to you even for $1,000 is if I was hurting for money really, really badly. Moving on to the other stone. This stone is a really beautiful rarity. It's extremely large. It shows color from end to end, and it has a really beautiful termination formation of a crystal sort of flower with a whole bunch of terminations coming off of it and stuff like that, and it's gorgeous. But there has not really, that I've seen, been very much of a market for uncarved specimen fire agate. It's really just the people that really love it, that have access to mines and stuff like that, that are true collectors, that hold on to this stuff. But I've never actually even seen a fire agate specimen sell for very much, except for the ones that have been carved by Richard and are rather large. This piece is not quite that large to be like a tabletop specimen, but if amazing color comes out of it, it's way too big to be a ring. It's definitely more like a necklace, or, you know, a specimen that's not necessarily a tabletop, just a gem grade, really large, beautiful stone. So I definitely think that on a fire agate buyer's scale, if you were looking at these two stones and you were out in public, or you were out at a gem and mineral show, and you were looking at these two stones and say they were both marked at $500 or they were both marked at $1,000, and you were going to choose which one you wanted to buy, I would go with the one on the right. The one on the right. I hope I put them like that. I would go with the one that has the formation of chalcedony on top of it in the flower spiking formation. It shows more color. It shows more promise to actually be a really great stone. You can already see a little bit of green and already a little bit of red poking through it. So that would definitely, if I was going to pick between the two to buy, that would definitely be the one that I purchased. After having them at this period of time, I do believe that that is going to be the better stone when they're said and done, when I get done carving them. They're definitely not ones I'm going to sell uncarved. They're not. I see too much value in them once they're carved. These really could be those one-of-a-kind stones. So on that note, I'm going to post this video, and it's going to be a rather fast and a rather short video. At the same time, I plan on live streaming today and probably tomorrow. I've been carving non-stop, and I ran out of some of my carving supplies, so I can only prep stones. I can't polish any stones right now. So I'm going to be doing some live stream, prepping some stones, and I'm going to be doing a live stream working on these two exact stones this Saturday and this Sunday, which Saturday's today, so I'm going to hurry up and get this video uploaded so that we can do a live stream this evening. And hopefully Sunday I'll get a live stream done at some point during the day. I'm not really good at being able to set up the exact time that I do these things and then them happen. Yet at the same time, since I stopped trying to use great cameras and expensive software, it's been a little bit easier to do those sort of things, to make them happen. The phone, just if I have, you know, a good wireless signal, the phone works so well since it's a new phone. It's hard to beat with the ease of use, as opposed to all the problems I have every single time I go to rehook everything up to live stream. With my great setup I have in there, it actually gives me a little bit of headache. What I need is 2 computers, but I don't even want to work on 2 computers, to tell you the truth, now that I'm digressing again, because what I want to do is, I'm dying to get out and dig. I'm seeing the videos that are coming in. I'm talking to some people that are out at some of the places, and I'm dying to get out there and tell stories about being out in the wilds and record some videos with some of the friends that I've made previously. And there's just so many great stories and so much stuff to video and show and do. And it's so much more fun, and it's so much more engaging for me when I'm actually in the beautiful areas instead of talking about them in my backyard or in front of a green screen or something like that. So I'm working on that. I love you for watching, and I'll see you soon.